The CEO wife never dreamed that because she gave my position to her white moonlight. I would leave with our son by faking our deaths. But she suddenly brought me up at the family feast. After such a long Cold War, her anger should have subsided, and the family should live in harmony again. The white moonlight on the side immediately agreed. That's right, after all, your child isn't even a month old yet. How could he truly be angry with you? Bai Ningbing then asked, "It's almost New Year, where is the mister?" The housekeeper glanced at the seat occupied by the white moonlight and said with a sorrowful expression, "Mr. and the young master passed away 3 days ago." As soon as these words came out, everyone saw the usually high and mighty female CEO completely disregard her image, eyes red as she rushed out the door. Everyone in North City knew that I was once a frantic pursuer of Bai Ningbing. I was infatuated with her for 8 whole years and only became her husband through relentless pestering. But no one knew that at 5 years old, Bai Ningbing gave me her precious MIMD diamond ring and said with a serious face that she would marry me when she grew up. At 15, she solemnly tattooed the initials of our names on her chest, vowing firmly, "Fang Yuan, I want to love you every day and never be apart." At 18, Bai Ningbing rushed into a fire regardless of everything to save me, but was hit in the head by a falling beam and required surgery. Before the surgery, she took off the Buddhist beads she had worn since childhood and put them on me. "Fang Yuan, we can't be separated even in death. We are just suffering a small trial. Wait for me, I will definitely remember you. Remember to wear the beads and don't take them off. This is the token for us to recognize each other." Later, Bai Ningbing woke up but forgot her memories from before 16. She also mistook Wang Teng, who had a crush on her, for her boyfriend. During these 8 years, I tried every possible way but couldn't make Bai Ningbing recover her memory. Instead, because Bai's mother insisted I marry her, Bai Ningbing grew to loathe me more and more. Even a while ago, when I was in a car accident and almost lost my life, Bai Ningbing actually said, "Notify me when you're dead. It just so happens to vacate the position for Brother Tang." This sentence completely exhausted my affection for her. I took the child to a fake death agency, only wanting to leave her world completely before leaving the city. I saw the mall's big screen repeatedly playing media interviews with Bai Ningbing. She and Wang Tang were holding hands tightly, eyes full of affection. Brother Tang Xuan is only 3 years old and needs maternal love. I will treat him as my own child and raise him well. Bai Ningbing's answer caused the onlookers to scream. Wow, the cold-faced female boss has such a tender side too, treating her first love's child like a treasure, so deep in love. I'm so envious. This is the person President Bai fell in love with at 16. Even after being abandoned by Wang Teng, her heart never changed. Waiting 3 years to finally reunite, such a broad-minded and affectionate woman is so rare. That Fang Yuan must have succeeded by taking advantage of President Bai's blindness. Who knows how many schemes he used. Those two are the true love. Fang Yuan just wanted to struggle 30 years less, so calculating. He thought a child could tie down President Bai, but she didn't even look at him. Knowing President Bai only has Wang Teng in her heart, yet he still occupies the husband's position. His heart is truly dark. The crowd's malicious words were like knives piercing my heart, making me ache, almost to the point of suffocation. The baby's crying interrupted my thoughts. I no longer paid attention to others and hurried into the nearby mall, anxious to find a mother and baby room to make formula for the child. Unluckily, I ran into them again at the first-floor toy store. Bai Ningbing was accompanying Wang Teng's son to pick out toys. She selected patiently, her cold face full of smiles. The moment she saw me, Bai Ningbing's smile vanished, and she spoke coldly. "All you know all day is to inquire about my whereabouts and cry for me to go home. Can't you do something productive?" "All right, Ningbing. Fang Yuan just got out of the hospital after the accident. His body is still weak and needs care. If he doesn't recover well, there will be lingering problems." Wang Teng hugged Bai Ningbing's waist, his smile appearing gentle but actually asserting dominance. "Since Fang Yuan found you, be good and go back with him today. Your child is almost a year old, and you, the mother, haven't held him once. It's not appropriate. My child is just a tool for me to account to my elders. He's not qualified for me to hold." Bai Ningbing dotingly pinched the little boy's face. "Even if Xuan isn't mine, holding him makes my heart feel comfortable." Our dispute attracted onlookers and whispers. "Gosh, isn't this President Bai and her husband? How can she say that? That child is also President Bai's bloodline. She's too heartless. During those 3 years when President Bai was blind, it was Mr. Fang who took care of her meticulously. Hearing her tone, she practically wants this man to disappear. Yeah, President Bai is going too far. Her husband just got out of the hospital after a car accident, weak, but doesn't get a shred of care from her. So pitiful. Onlookers were always like this. In such scenes, some scolded me, and some stood up for me. I had long since gotten used to it. Looking at Bai Ningbing's face full of disgust, my eyes instantly felt sour. The things from the past she had long thrown to the back of her mind. She forgot her bravery in rushing into the fire to save me regardless of everything. She forgot that when I had leukemia, she was the one who firmly insisted on donating bone marrow to me. And she even forgot the vow she once made to love me every day and never be apart. It turns out that I was the only one deeply trapped by those sweet pasts. But luckily, in 3 more days, I could completely withdraw from her world and never meet again. The baby's crying became more and more urgent. Anxious and burning with worry, I suddenly pushed aside Wang Teng, who was blocking my path, and rushed towards the mother and baby room at the end of the road. Outside the door, the man's surprised and pained shout immediately followed. While I was focused on making formula for the child, the phone kept ringing. Seeing it was Bai Ningbing calling, I turned it off without hesitation. After soothing the baby, I walked out of the room but saw Bai Ningbing holding Wang Teng as he rested on a bench. Wang Teng had a band-aid on his forehead, his expression complex. Ningbing, don't blame Fang Yuan. He was anxious about the child and accidentally pushed me. He didn't mean to disfigure me. This man clearly knows you live off your face, yet he intentionally pushed you. His heart is too malicious. Bai Ningbing's face was as gloomy as ice as she shouted, "Fang Yuan, come over and apologize immediately." No need. Wang Teng pretended to refuse, but the triumph in his eyes couldn't be hidden. I looked at him expressionlessly, then took off one of the Buddhist beads I wore close to my body and handed it over. "I offended you today, take this as an apology." Hearing this, a flicker of doubt flashed in Bai Ningbing's eyes, and Wang Teng was also very surprised, pretending to refuse. "Fang Yuan, this won't do. This is your most precious thing. Put it away quickly. My face is really fine, don't be so nervous." "Fang Yuan, what tricks are you playing now?" Bai Ningbing suppressed a sudden surge of unease in her heart, frowning unpleasantly. "Before, when I asked you to return the beads to Wang Teng, you cried and made a scene, refusing to do so. Why are you suddenly willing today?" "I'm not playing any tricks, I just don't want to keep it anymore." My expression was cold as I held the child and prepared to leave. But halfway I was blocked by Bai Ningbing. "Don't think that by playing this retreat to advance tactic I will go home with you. You must be crazy for a woman. Stop dreaming." I placed the beads in her hand, didn't even look at her, and strode away. Anyway, 3 days later I would be gone from her world completely, so why would I treasure the beads she gave me, and why would I care if she came home? Bai Ningbing faintly felt that I seemed to have changed, but she couldn't say exactly what had changed. She wiped the beads clean and handed them to Wang Teng. "These are my most authentic red Buddhist beads. I give them to you." "Ningbing, Fang Yuan seems really angry. You should go back and check," Wang Teng persuaded softly. Quote, "What does it have to do with me, whether he's angry or not?" After Bai Ningbing finished speaking, they left. The clock hand on the wall quietly moved to 12 o'clock, and Bai Ningbing still hadn't come home. In the past, I would have called everyone around her, asking about her whereabouts and doing everything to persuade her to come home. After all, she had undergone 2 craniotomies and couldn't stay up late. But now I am busy processing all the belongings, not wanting to waste time on unimportant people. I directed Aunt Duong to inventory the gifts I gave to Truong Nuoc Nam over the years, filling 5 large boxes, including a watch worth hundreds of millions, self-written calligraphy paintings, 136 sets of high-end formal wear, and 238 love letters she once wrote to me. Previously, I tried to use these passionate letters, hoping to rekindle her love and memories of me, but I didn't expect that year, Duong Tianhao had secretly played tricks, delaying my arrival at the hospital to visit Truong Nuoc Nam. When I rushed to the hospital with the letters, Truong Nuoc Nam had already woken up. She held Duong Tianhao's hand tightly and said affectionately, "Tianhao, I will treat you well for the rest of my life. I will help you become a movie king." I was shocked and saddened, desperately wanting to use the love letters and the Buddhist prayer beads to prove my identity. But I only received suspicion and coldness from Truong Nuoc Nam. You truly are a deeply calculating man, daring to secretly change the name of the protagonist in the love letters I wrote for Tian Hao to your own name, intentionally getting a tattoo just like mine on your chest, and even stealing the prayer beads I gave to Tian Hao. Your character is truly at the lowest extreme. The girl who once loved me dearly now only believed the lies fabricated by Duong Tian Hao. Toward me, there was only disgust and contempt. No matter how the friends around her explained, Truong Nok Nam still insisted that I intentionally wanted to steal Duong Tian Hao's position. She even uttered cruel words, stating that if anyone still defended me, she would sever ties. Thinking of the 8 years of pursuing Truong Nuok Nam, the hopeless waiting, and her cold ridicule, tears unintentionally rolled down my cheeks. If she truly loved me, how could she have no physical reaction to me at all, and how could she mistake someone else for her boyfriend? Why didn't she give me even a bit of trust? In the end, it was because Truong Nuok Nam didn't love me enough, so she easily believed the deception of others. I suppressed the bitterness in my heart, took off the wedding ring and threw it in the trash, then poured gasoline on those clothes. Aunt Duong, the helper, picked the ring up from the trash and said anxiously, "Sir, this is the orchid wedding ring that my young mistress personally ground and carved for you when she was 16 years old. You cannot throw it away. And these gifts and love letters, they are all the most precious things to the mistress. If you burn them, she will go crazy. Please give the mistress a little more time. The mistress loves you so much, she will definitely recover her memory. Whether Truong Nuok Nam recovers her memory in the future or not, I don't need her anymore." I threw the burning lighter into the pile of clothes. The Truong Nuok Nam I loved died at 16 years old and will never come back. The flames flared up brilliantly, illuminating my cold eyes, which held infinite sadness, but even more longing for the future. In 62 more hours, I will take my son and disappear completely, leaving nothing for Truong Nuok Nam. I went into the room to soothe my son to sleep. As soon as I picked him up, I suddenly noticed his body was burning hot. His face was flushed, and he was constantly vomiting. My expression suddenly changed. I hurriedly carried my son down to the garage, then suddenly remembered that all the car keys had been seized by Truong Nuok Nam. I dragged my injured leg and ran out of the villa, standing by the road waving for a car, but for a long time, no car passed by. In a moment of extreme anxiety, I saw a familiar Rolls-Royce driving past. The people sitting inside were Truong Nuok Nam and Duong Tian Hao. "Stop the car! Stop the car quickly!" I tried to forget every bit of grievance between myself and him, struggling to hold the umbrella against the strong wind. Using all my strength to run and knock on the car window, shouting, "Truong Nuok Nam, quickly let me in the car. Tang Dien has a high fever and must go to the hospital immediately." Truong Nuok Nam lowered the window, staring into my eyes with a cold voice, truly full of diverse tricks. "Seeing that I refused to go home, you actually made up a story about the child being sick to trick me? The boy really has a very high fever." I was so anxious I broke into a sweat, my voice trembling. "Truong Nuok Nam, I have never begged you for anything, just this once. The boy's blood is flowing in his veins. Don't you feel any pity? Tang Dien has a fever so high he's about to faint. Tang Dien is just a tool for me to deal with the elders. Is he even worthy of my heartache?" Truong Nuok Nam kissed the cheek of the little boy in her lap and said, "Tian Hao, although Duong Duong was not born of me, he looks so much like you. I love him immensely and only want to give him all the best things in the world." My heart was filled with bitterness as I spoke hoarsely. "Nuok Nam, for the sake of your mother, save the child. Nuok Nam. It's raining like this, it's hard to catch a ride. Why don't you let them in the car?" Duong Tian Hao closed the script in his hand and said in a gentle voice, "The wound on your forehead will heal in a few days. It's okay." "You silly man. How many times have you been tricked by him? Why haven't you learned your lesson yet?" "Truong Nuok, we have to take Duong Duong to the hospital for dental work. We have no time to waste." After saying that, she drove away. The mud splashed up, soaking my coat and causing the blood in my body to gradually grow cold, so cold that my whole body trembled and I was speechless. Truong Nuok Nam had forgotten how she once loved me. Wishing for me to die was cruel enough, but tonight she even watched her own son without saving him. She truly is not fit to be a mother. I pushed my exhausted body to the main road, trying to block passing cars, waving my hands frantically. Finally, one car agreed to stop. The driver hurriedly ran out to open the door and said, "Is your child sick? Get in quickly, I'll take both father and son to the hospital." "Thank you!" I hugged my son tightly and said gently, "Tongdian, you must try hard, we are almost at the hospital." "Young man, I see your child is very small, probably not even a year old, right? With such a high fever, why are you bringing him to the hospital alone? Where is your wife?" the driver asked. "She passed away," I replied coldly. The driver looked at me with sympathetic eyes. "It truly isn't easy. There's a dry towel in the seat pocket. Wipe your hair so you don't catch a cold." I took the towel to wipe my hair. At this moment, the car drove as fast as lightning, catching up to the Rolls-Royce ahead, which was stopped at a red light next to us. Through the car window, I saw Duong Tien Hao holding Truong Nuoc Nam, laughing and talking happily. He even glanced at me with provocative eyes. "Young man, is that wealthy woman in that car your wife?" The driver looked in the direction of my eyes and cursed angrily. "Damn it, she's truly not human. Her child is so seriously ill, yet she's flirting with a gigolo, ignoring her own biological child." "So what if it's her biological child? She only likes to raise children for others." I used alcohol to wipe the armpits and elbows of my child, my voice anxious. "Driver, please drive a bit faster." The car arrived at the hospital, and my son was taken to the emergency room. The emergency doctor gave me a prescription and asked me to pay. Because Tang Dian was born prematurely, he had to use imported medicine, totaling more than NDT 20,000. After getting married, I quit my job to stay home and care for Truong Nuoc Nam. The savings of more than 200,000 NDT had all been used for the child, and now I had very little left. I found the black card that Truong Nuoc Nam had given me before. Checking it, I saw that everything had been locked. Out of desperation, I called Truong Nuoc Nam. The phone was answered immediately, and Duong Tien Hao's voice came from inside. "Tang Non, what's the matter? Nuoc Nam is taking Duong Duong for dental work." Before I could speak, the sound of the phone falling to the ground echoed from inside. "Nuoc Nam, does your shoulder hurt? Sit still and don't move, let me massage it for you." I hung up in disappointment, while worrying about who to borrow money from. Dr. Lai in the emergency department took the initiative to offer an advance for the medical fees. I was both surprised and grateful, bowing deeply. "Dr. Li, thank you very much. You did your best to save my son's life. When he was born prematurely, you let him stay in the ICU for 15 days before transferring to a regular ward, and today you help me like this. Wait until I sell the house, then I will pay you back." "There's no need to rush to pay," Dr. Li said with a sympathetic face. "You just got out of the hospital after a traffic accident. Don't overwork yourself. Rest well and don't do anything foolish. After all, your son's life was something our whole department fought day and night to save." My heart felt warm, and the corners of my eyes felt stung. A doctor I'd only met a few times was willing to help. While my wife, because she wanted to punish me, locked all the bank cards, ignored her child, and was busy being happy with her lover. As a husband, I truly have no dignity or value at all. "Mr. Tang, for the sake of your child, you must try hard." Dr. Li comforted me. "I have to go to the emergency room now." I whispered that for Tang Dian, I would live well. "Oh right, Mr. Tang. Regarding the new medicines successfully researched by our hospital, when do you plan to tell President Truong? This medicine can restore damaged nerves and can help President Truong quickly recover her memory. Or perhaps wait until after the child's birthday party the day after tomorrow, then you tell her," Dr. Lai said. 2 hours later, my son's high fever was finally controlled. I held him tightly, tears wetting his cheeks. Dr. Lai said if we had been 10 minutes later, my son could have had a high fever, leading to cerebral palsy. This child weighed only 1.5 pounds when born, having to stay in the ICU for half a month to survive. Truong Nuoc Nam was disgusted and insisted on not breastfeeding him, letting him cry until his voice was hoarse without holding him even once. And today, because of Truong Nuoc Nam's indifference, he almost became disabled. Such a person is not only unfit to be a mother but also unfit to be human. I want her, after she recovers her memory, to suffer for what she did today. I want her, after she recovers her memory, to never see the two of us again, so that she must endure the tormenting pain of her conscience night after night, forever bitten by remorse. I carried the child downstairs to get medicine. In the elevator, I met Truong Nuoc Nam carrying Duong Tien Hao's son coming in. She was smiling like a flower. Tien Hao, don't save money for me. To fix the child's teeth, just use the most expensive materials. NDT 108,000 is just the price of a handbag to me. I bowed my head to hide the coldness in my eyes. When the day comes that Truong Nuoc Nam recovers her memory, will she still treat Duong Tien Hao's son so well? I could not wait to see the scene of her breaking down and crying, "Yes, thank you, wife, for treating Duong so well." Duong Tien Hao looked up and saw me in the elevator, his expression a bit unnatural, smiling awkwardly. "Tang Anon, is your Tang Dien okay? I see your complexion is very poor. Perhaps let Nuoc Nam help you watch the child for a moment." Is he even worthy of me watching the child for him? Truong Nuoc Nam snorted coldly. "Tang Un, to beg me to come home, you actually dare to act recklessly, not hesitating to make your son sick and then running to the hospital to block me? How can there be such a cold and ungrateful father like you in this world?" Truong Nuoc Nam's words were like a knife stabbing my heart, but I completely treated her like air, bowing my head to adjust the child's clothes. Unexpectedly, the strap of the baby supply bag in my hand broke, and the baby bottles and diapers scattered everywhere. I struggled to endure the sharp pain in the incision on my leg, laboriously squatting down to pick up the items. Duong Tien Hao reached out to support my arm. "Tang Gon, your right leg is injured. Stand still and don't move. Let me help you pick them up." "Tien Hao, why do you care about him?" Truong Nuoc Nam hurriedly pulled Duong Tien Hao back, looking displeased. "Who knows what tricks he's playing to harm you? Stay away from him." "Nuoc Nam, don't think of Tang Non so badly. After all, we were dorm roommates." Duong Tien Hao's tone was mild. Even though he was slow to progress in his studies, he was very diligent and hard-working. HMPH, diligent and hard-working to rank last in the whole grade? Truong Nuoc Nam ridiculed. "Tang Dien having a father who is a bad student like him is truly too unfortunate. My son having a heartless mother like you is much more unfortunate." I struggled to endure the pain in the incision on my leg, picking up the child's water bottle. "In the future, don't tell anyone you are Tang Dien's mother, because you aren't worthy." Truong Nuoc Nam looked at me with an expression of disbelief, suddenly feeling I was a bit of a stranger in front of her. I was always obedient and never dared to talk back like that. "Tang Ningon, stop that playing hard to get game of yours." Truong Nuoc Nam's face was gloomy. "I'm telling you, no matter what you do tonight, I will not go home." Before she finished speaking, I carried the child out of the elevator. Suddenly I stopped, eyes wide as Tang Dien poked his tiny hand out from the blue wrap, grabbing Truong Nuoc Nam's sleeve, babbling something to her. Milk from the corner of the boy's mouth dripped onto the back of Truong Nuoc Nam's hand. She froze for a moment, then brushed the boy's hand away, took off her white vest and threw it into the nearby trash can, frowning and saying, "What are you doing? Truly disgusting." The boy was frightened by her fierce voice, burying his head in my chest and crying pitifully. "Tang Dien, don't cry, father is here." My heart felt as if it were being cut as I gently kissed the corners of the boy's eyes, my voice choking. "Father will always be with you, my good baby. In the future, the two of us will rely on each other to live." Hearing my words, Truong Nuoc Nam couldn't help but stop her pace. She looked at my miserable appearance, and an indescribable sense of unease rose in her heart, as if something was gradually escaping her control. "Nuoc Nam, Duong has a nosebleed," Duong Tien Hao said anxiously. "Quick, take the child to the restroom to wash his nose." Truong Nuoc Nam snapped out of it and took Duong away, but then suddenly stopped, her voice cold. "Tang Nuon, the day after tomorrow is the child's birthday party. My mother will attend. I warn you not to play any more tricks, otherwise don't even think about stepping into my house again in the future." I sneered and did not answer her. In only 24 hours I would take the child away, and at the child's birthday party, the only thing she would find would be a divorce petition. The next morning I contacted an agent to bring people to see the house. The old couple looked at each other with serious expressions. "Mr. Tang, why are you in such a hurry to sell the house? Is there any problem?" I calmly replied, "I just bought a house near my wife's workplace. This house is in my name and there are no disputes. If you truly want to buy it, I will reduce it by 500,000, but you must pay all at once." The old couple agreed. Immediately after, they signed the contract and I went with them to the notary office to complete the transfer procedures and entrusted the agent to buy another house that I could move into immediately. After everything was done, I canceled all bank cards and went to the administrative center to get a new passport, buying a plane ticket to leave Nam Than tomorrow. At nightfall, I dragged my tired body home, unexpectedly seeing a pair of brown leather shoes on the shoe rack at the door that weren't mine. My head buzzed as I stumbled upstairs, seeing Duong Tianhao drawing eyebrows for Truong Nuoc Nam by the dressing table in the master bedroom, the two of them looking at each other passionately and ambiguously. Hearing the sound, a look of panic flashed across Duong Tianhao's face. He pushed the woman in his arms away and said, "Nuoc Nam, don't make a mess anymore. Tang Nongan is back. Doing this in front of him is not good. This is my house. I will do whatever I want. He is just a husband in name. What right does he have to manage me?" Truong Nuoc Nam said coldly, "Continue drawing for me, don't stop." My face turned purple, my hand clenched into a fist to punch Duong Tianhao, but then slowly let go as I ran out of the villa. I ran like crazy on the street without a purpose until I was exhausted. I collapsed to the ground, looking up at the sky and screaming, "Truong Nuoc Nam, usually you stick to Duong Tianhao like a shadow, and today you even brought him home to do this in my own bedroom, to humiliate me like this. You are truly cruel." Thinking of my son still at home, I was not at ease and hurried back to the villa. Aunt Duong brought me water, and I took it, saying weakly, "Aunt Duong, clean the living room on the first floor for me. Tonight I will sleep with Tong Dian. Remember to bring the orchid pot my mother left in the master bedroom down here. It likes airy places and cannot stand dust." Quote, "Yes, sir." Aunt Duong hesitated. "The young mistress said Mr. Duong wants to drink yam and pork rib soup cooked by you. Told you to make it right away and bring it up. If you don't do it, she won't come back anymore." I smiled faintly. "It's better if she doesn't come back. I'll have even more peace." I was sleeping soundly under the covers in the living room when the blanket was suddenly yanked away. Truong Nuoc Nam's sharp voice rang out, "Are you deaf? I told you to cook soup for Tian Hao, didn't you hear? I am a patient who just finished surgery. Why should I cook soup for him?" I argued back, "Based on you bringing him home to humiliate me today, or based on you wishing I were dead to vacate the spot for him?" Truong Nuoc Nam looked at me in surprise, fell silent for a few seconds, and then said, "Very well, you dare talk back to me? I'll count to 3 if you still don't go then." I struggled to endure the pain in my leg, grabbed a glass of water and threw it at her. "Get out! This is the house my mother gave me. You have no right to be here shouting at me." Truong Nuoc Nam was unexpectedly splashed with water. Her white dress was soaked as she said angrily, "Who gave you such guts? Who do you think you are? That day at the mall you dared to push Tian Hao, and you harmed him, almost disfiguring him. Telling you to stew soup as an apology was already considered being too easy on you. You still have the face to make a scene with me. You truly are someone with no mother to teach you." I thought I had already reached the peak of disappointment in her. But I didn't expect that at this moment, Truong Nuoc Nam would be so heartless as to take the pain deepest inside my heart to attack me. She had forgotten that before, she used to hold my hand and say, "Tung Non, don't cry, from now on my mother is your mother. Whatever you want to eat, I will tell her to make it for you. I won't let you suffer any disadvantage. Whoever dares to bully you and says you are a child with no mother to teach you, I will be the first one not to let him go." Truong Nuoc Nam's vow still rang in my ears, yet today, for the sake of defending Duong Tianhao, she hurt me so much. The pain from the sole of my foot ran straight to the top of my head, burning my eyes. I didn't want to endure in silence anymore and said angrily, "If you feel I am worth nothing, then go find Duong Tianhao. Why did you naturally run back here? Did I beg you to come back? Tang Non, Nuoc Nam and I only came back because we wanted to help pack things. We had no intention of humiliating you." Duong Tianhao bowed his head and explained, "It's just that she couldn't restrain herself for a moment. I also had no other way." Having said that, he handed me a bank card. "I'm sorry that because of me the two of you argued like this. There is 5 million in this card. You take it." "Stop acting innocent," I spoke coldly. "I'll count to 3. If the two of you still don't get out, then wait for Mother Truong to personally come and teach you a lesson." Just as I finished speaking, Truong Nuoc Nam's expression immediately changed. This calculating man was always loved by her mother. If she let her know about today's matter, then it would likely not end well. She angrily pulled Duong Tianhao away and said, "You just wait. This matter isn't over yet." She had just finished speaking when I slammed the door shut. Truong Nuoc Nam pulled Duong Tin Hao dejectedly to the car, her expression extremely unsightly. Not far away, several helpers were pointing and whispering with gloating faces. This time, Mr. Tang finally stood firm for once. The eldest miss acting like that is truly too much, actually telling a sick person to stew soup for that mistress to drink. If it were me, I would have wanted to kill him. Even clay has 3 parts quality, let alone Mr. Tang. No matter how much he loves the eldest miss, he cannot endure such torture. Eldest miss, if you do that to Mr. Tang, then sooner or later you will exhaust his love. At that time, even if you regret it, it will be too late. Truong Huc Nam snorted coldly. The thing I regret most in this life is marrying Tang Nan against my mother's wishes. This man is truly too malicious. That year when I woke up from the coma, it was Tin Hao who is always by my side taking care of me. Tang Ngan is extremely cunning, intentionally getting an identical tattoo on his chest like Tin Hao's, and even saying the person I saved in the fire was him. Even more ridiculous is that Tang Ngan also took out a box of love letters, saying they were written by me. My eyes aren't blind, how could I not recognize my own handwriting? Those love letters were clearly written by me, for Tin Hao. Duong Tin Hao noticed Truong Nuoc Nam's unsightly expression and advised, "Nuoc Nam, Tang Non is just too in love with you and couldn't accept it for a moment. He just got out of the hospital, his mood cannot handle being agitated, you be generous, and don't hold a grudge against him." "Tin Hao, you are too kind-hearted. Today Tang Non made you lose face like that, yet you still speak up for him." Truong Nuoc Nam leaned into his arms and said angrily, "I will let him know what the price for provoking me is. Someone immediately draft a divorce agreement for me, to let Tang Non leave empty-handed." Duong Tin Hao gently soothed the woman in his arms, the bottom of his eyes a patch of gloom. Truong Chuoc Nam, taking advantage of the time Tang Chuan is recovering to propose a divorce, his heart has already grown cold, he will surely agree. At that time, the position of Truong Nuoc Nam's husband will be easily obtained. Duong Chen Hao shifted his thoughts, suddenly clutching his chest, acting as if in unbearable pain. "Nuoc Nam, actually, I still have one more thing I want to ask of you." After Truong Nuoc Nam left, I tore up all the wedding photos and photo albums in the house, threw them in the trash, then packed my clothes into a suitcase. Aunt Duong anxiously walked back and forth, saying she wanted to call to report to Truong Nuoc Nam's mother. I raised my hand to stop her. "Don't disturb Mother Truong. Her health is already not good." "But if you just go like this, taking the little master, leaving the mistress behind, what should be done?" Aunt Duong's eyes were red. She had undergone 2 surgeries, opening the skull cannot withstand strong stimulation. "It's okay," I said nonchalantly. "Auntie, help me take down the orchid embroidery painting in the living room. That was a wedding gift my mother gave me." Aunt Duong nodded. Just as she was about to go upstairs, she suddenly looked toward the villa door with a joyful face. "Mistress, why did you come back?" I turned my head to look at Truong Nuoc Nam walking in, couldn't help but frown. "What did you come back for?" Truong Nuoc Nam didn't bother to look at me, threw a folder in front of me, sign this agreement and then go to the hospital with me. "You want me to donate a kidney to Duong Tin Hao's younger brother?" I looked at the agreement in my hands shaking violently. "This matter I absolutely do not agree to. I am notifying you, not negotiating with you." Truong Nuoc Nam said, "Duong Tin Hao's younger brother's health is not good. Now it has reached the final stage." She threw another agreement down. "If you do not agree to donate a kidney, we will divorce." My face turned pale, I took half a step back. So it turns out the reason she forced me to have a general health checkup at the beginning of the year was for this intention. Seeing me in extreme pain, Truong Nuoc Nam ridiculed. "Saving a life is better than building a 7-story pagoda. Didn't you say you love me to the bone? Why can't you even do this bit of sacrifice? You only lose 1 kidney, while Duong Tin Hao's brother has kidney failure and is about to lose his life. Based on what do I have to save his brother?" I questioned. "Based on the fact that you and him are like a shadow, seeing your own biological brother about to die and not saving him, or based on the fact that you dared to bring him home to humiliate me." Truong Nuoc Nam was choked for words, then immediately said, "You are my husband. Asking you to do this small thing, isn't it possible? I'll count to 3. If you still don't sign, tomorrow we will go get a divorce." I didn't pay attention to her, one hand carrying the child and one hand pulling the suitcase to leave. Behind me rang out her cold voice. "Someone, take him to the car for me." I was terrified. Didn't have time to take the suitcase. Gritting my teeth, dragging my injured leg, running for my life out of the villa. But numerous bodyguards had surrounded me. My leg was injured, and I was also carrying a child. Completely not a match for them. In the end, I was still forced into the car. I heard the sound of the child crying wah wah in the back seat, anxious to the point of breaking into a sweat. "Tru Ong Nuok Nam, you scared the child." "It's not asking for his life, what is he crying for?" she said with a look of disgust. "Someone, give Tung Dien sleeping pills, he's noisy to death." The assistant sitting in the passenger seat was horrified. "Mistress, the child is so small he cannot take them. It will cause irreversible damage to the nervous system. The child won't die, quickly give the medicine." "Truong Nuok Nam, you truly are a person with no humanity." I wanted to stop it, but my head was hit hard, the world spun, and I lost consciousness. The last second before fainting, I screamed, "Truong Nuok Nam, you will regret what you did today." "I absolutely will not regret it," she said coldly. "Quickly give the child the medicine." Not long after, I woke up, finding myself lying on the operating table. The doctors and assistants were preparing for surgery. Standing by the hospital bed were Truong Nuok Nam and Duong Tin Hao. I stared at Truong Nuok Nam with a look of despair. "You forcing me to donate a kidney is illegal. This is a hospital under my full control. Who will know it's illegal?" She interrupted me, raising the folder in her hand, and continued. "The kidney donation agreement you already signed. It was your voluntary donation." I looked at Duong Thien Hao, whose eyes were very smug, so angry my whole body shook. He smiled like a flower and said, "Tang Gon, thank you for donating a kidney to save my brother. When you get out of the hospital, I will give you a thank you gift." At this moment, the lead surgeon stepped forward. "We are about to start the surgery. Would President Truong and Mr. Duong please wait outside?" I looked toward the voice, and it was actually Dr. Lee. I was both surprised and disappointed, forced to close my eyes and accept my fate. Truong Nuok Nam was walking out the door, seeing the teardrop rolling down the corner of my eye. Her heart suddenly felt a stinging pain. She suppressed the emotion. "Tangan Gon, from now on I will come home once a year. Consider it compensation for you. I warn you not to be greedy." I clenched my fist and didn't answer. Once this surgery was over, I would immediately take the child and go, absolutely never staying in this terrifying place again. A moment later, the operating room light suddenly turned off. "Mr. Tang, quickly follow me!" Hearing Dr. Lai's voice, I joyfully jumped off the bed, hurriedly following her out the side door of the operating room. Getting into a taxi waiting at the hospital's back door, Dr. Lai handed the child, who was sound asleep, and a bag of supplies through the car window. "I already gave Tang Dien medicine to reduce the side effects of the anesthesia. Quickly go." I looked at her with grateful eyes. I told the driver to drive to the riverbank, not forgetting the agreement with the agency to fake my death. I held the phone and started recording. "Fine, as you wish, I yield the position of Truong Nuok Nam's husband to you." I sent this recording, along with the previous call recording with Duong Tien Hao, to the staff of the agency to fake my death, helping me stitch all the recordings together to ensure the source couldn't be traced. "Mr. Tang, confirming with you one more time, you chose the method of faking death with no remains left, correct?" "I confirm." After saying that, I picked up the suitcase and disappeared into the night. Lightning flashed across the sky, illuminating my gloomy eyes. Just wait and see. The day I leave will be the start of a hellish life for Duong Tin Hao. And also the day Truong Nuok Nam begins to go crazy, and perhaps also the day she gradually recovers her memory. Truong Nuok Nam sent people to turn all of Nam Thon upside down throughout the night, yet still couldn't find me after I escaped from the hospital. She was so angry that she heavily punished those involved in the hospital, while also ordering everyone to continue searching for me. The next day was my child's birthday party. Duong Tan Hao hugged Truong Nuok Nam and said unexpectedly, "Nuok Nam, the hospital found a kidney donor suitable for my brother. If you find Tang Nongan, then don't force him to donate a kidney anymore. After all, for a man, losing a kidney is synonymous with becoming a cripple. He will be ridiculed by others. This kidney he absolutely must donate." Truong Nuok Nam's face was dark, daring to betray me and conspire with hospital staff to run away. If I don't teach him a lesson, then he'll forget who he is. Truong Nuok Nam stayed with Duong Tin Hao for a long time. When she arrived at the hotel, she saw it was full of guests whispering, but couldn't see the shadow of me and the child. Nuok Nam, today is your son's birthday party, yet you are late. It truly is not proper at all. Mother Truong's face was full of anger. You provoked Tung Noon again, right? Last night we had a bit of a conflict, and he is sulking. Truong Nuok Nam didn't care. No need to pay attention to him. At most, in 1 more hour he will appear. Tang Ngon always respects my mother. The child's birthday party he will definitely appear. At that time I will teach him a lesson. Truong Nuok Nam thought to herself. 4 hours passed and I still hadn't arrived. The guests began to whisper. Nuok Nam, you call Tang Ngon and talk nicely to him, don't make a mess, Mrs. Truong earnestly advised. Truong Nuok Nam was frustrated. On such an important occasion and he couldn't come. He's intentionally making me lose face, right? From morning waiting until afternoon, I was still without a trace. The guests surrounded Truong Nuok Nam, talking excitedly. Surely he hasn't been kidnapped, right? If he were kidnapped, then they would have called for ransom. I heard that yesterday Mr. Tang had a big argument with President Truong. Could it be that he was too angry and took the child to jump in the river and commit suicide? After all, everyone knows President Truong doesn't like him. Mr. Tang pursued President Truong for 8 years to succeed. Surely he wouldn't have the heart to commit suicide. The whispers made Truong Nuok Nam flustered. She recalled last night, I was forced to the hospital to have kidney donation surgery. Her heart felt even more uneasy. This man loves her like his life. What if he truly thought wrongly? No! Truong Nuok Nam tried to convince herself Tang Huan loves her so much, he definitely would not give up his life. Perhaps he is secretly hiding at home, waiting for her to return. Truong Nuok Nam ran quickly out of the hotel, rushing home. As soon as she arrived, she saw a moving company truck parked in front of the villa, moving things inside. Truong Nuok Nam rushed to grab the older manager. This is my house. What are you people doing? This house your husband already sold to us yesterday. I have the land certificate right here. Quote, what? Truong Nuok Nam's face was ashen as she snatched the certificate, staring at the strange owner's name. He actually dared to sell the house? How can it be like that? This is a gift my mother gave him. He said he would leave this villa for future generations. You people surely conspired with him to trick me. Truong Nuok Nam pushed aside those blocking the way and ran into the house. The orchid painting hanging in the living room had disappeared. All the shared photos kept in the house were also gone. Even the wooden box of love letters I kept on the cupboard was also not to be found. Tang Ngon, come out here for me! She threw open every room, searching for the familiar voice. I'll count to 3. If you don't come out, don't blame me for heartlessly giving the son to someone else so that you can't see him for the rest of your life. But the house was dead silent. Truong Nuok Nam's heart was like a tangled mess. She rushed outside and grabbed a helper passing by. Did Tang Wan secretly return home last night? If you dare hide a single word, I will not let you go, the helper tremblingly said. Sir, since being taken to the hospital by you last night, he hasn't returned. Yesterday afternoon, he even burned all the gifts given to you, including those love letters. Burn them all? Truong Nuok Nam took 2 steps back. He loves me so much, he couldn't possibly have the heart to burn all the gifts given to me. They truly were all burned. I saw it with my own eyes. Aunt Duong was also there at that time. She was afraid a big matter would happen and intended to call to report to the old madame, but was stopped by the sir. We advised him, but sir still insisted on burning all the gifts and love letters given to you. Seeing Truong Nuok Nam's extremely unsightly face, the helper grew even more anxious. Truong Nuok Nam suppressed the pain in her heart, trying to remember the places I could go. I know now he surely has gone to the house his mother left behind and is waiting for me to pick him up. Truong Nuok Nam calmed down. Tang Noon, don't you dare threaten me like that. I want to see how long you can last without coming home. He is surely 100% certain in 2 more hours at most he will dejectedly return to apologize to me and give gifts to make up. However, when Truong Nuok Nam returned to the hotel banquet hall and waited until late at night, she still didn't see me appear. This guy has guts as big as the sky to dare let me wait so long. When Tang Nyon returns, I must re-establish the rules for him. Nuok Nam, you go quickly and fetch the son-in-law and my grandson back here, do you hear? Mother Truong's voice rang out. The guests are all waiting. Do you plan to let the Truong family lose face? Finally, Truong Nuoc Nam said irritably. Fine, fine, I know, I'm going right now. She was about to leave when an assistant ran in panicked. A big matter has happened. Mistress? The sir has sold the entire house his mother left behind too. There is no one there. Truong Nuoc Nam's mind buzzed. Tang Nguyen lived relying on his mother from a young age, considering that house more precious than his life, and now he actually sold it? Could it be that he wants to completely cut off from Nam Than and doesn't intend to return? You unfilial daughter, what did you do to make Tang Nguyen leave? Mrs. Truong used her cane to hit her. Tang Nguyen just got out of the hospital. His body is still so weak, yet you argued and provoked him. Are you still human? Why did I give birth to an ungrateful daughter like you? Go quickly and find him back. Don't let him do anything foolish. Truong Nuoc Nam was frustrated in her heart. Mother, don't be hasty. Tang Nguyen is just angry at me because last night I proposed a divorce and he's intentionally hiding from me. He loves his son so much, he absolutely will not do anything foolish. Quickly post missing person notices all over the city. He must be brought back here to me. Mistress, the sir's ID card and household registration have all been cancelled. There is no information about him using any means of transportation. Mistress? I found a person. He has a clue about the sir. A man leading an old man ran over, his voice excited. Truong Nuoc Nam's pupils contracted as she stepped up, grabbing the old man's sleeve. Where did you meet my husband? Where is he? The old man tremblingly held up the item in his hand. I was fishing last night at 12 o'clock at the Vai riverbank, seeing these things pinned under a rock, signed by Tang Nguyen. Truong Nuoc Nam opened the divorce petition, seeing my signature at the end of the document. Her hand trembled as she picked up the tape recorder, hesitating for a few seconds, then turning it on. From inside rang out a recording. Dong Xin Hao, if you hadn't carved an identical tattoo like mine, stolen the love letter she wrote to me, forged the handwriting, and impersonated me, then how could you have obtained her favor? If you want to blame someone, you can only blame her for not loving you deeply enough, being easily deceived by me. Knowing that, back then I would rather have let your son die on the operating table than... Duong Tianhao's voice was full of smugness. The matter of my son almost dying was also due to your tricks? So what, after all? When Truong Nuoc Nam knows about the matter, she will only think you intentionally slandered me. If I were you, I would have died of shame long ago. What face do you have to stand in the position of her husband? At the end of the recording, my voice was full of sorrow. As you wish, I yield the position of husband to you. The tape recorder fell to the ground. Truong Nuoc Nam slumped powerlessly to the ground. How can it be like that? I absolutely could not have mistaken him. Tin Hao is the one I love deeply. Tang Nguyen is just an imposter. He definitely, because he saw me propose divorce, therefore intentionally stitched this recording to slander Tin Hao. Continue searching for me. Bring this malicious man back here to me. I want to punish him severely. Mr. Tang is not coming back anymore. The old man again took out something from a net bag. Last night at the riverbank, I also picked up a pair of men's sneakers size 43. Truong Nuoc Nam looked at the gray sneakers. Before her eyes appeared the scene before the wedding day. She was forced by her mother to go shopping with me. I said wearing shoes bought by the person one loves, one will find the way home. Truong Nuoc Nam at that time completely didn't pay attention to me. Mother Truong's tears flowed. Nuoc Nam, it was you who stepped on Tang Nguyen's death. He loved you like that. Yet you forced him to carry his son and jump into the river to commit suicide. My precious grandson just turned 1 year old and is already dead. The words just finished, and the whole hall was in an uproar. Truly unexpected, Tang Nguyen was because he wanted to wake up the memories of the person he loved deeply, that he disregarded dignity, acting as Truong Nuoc Nam's licking dog for a full 8 years. Unfortunately, he was plotted against by Duong Tianhao, falling into the tragic ending of father and son jumping into the river. That's right, Duong Tianhao looks so elegant and mild. Unexpectedly, your heart is so malicious. I told Nuoc Nam long ago that the person she previously loved was Tang Nguyen, but she only believed the lies of Duong Tianhao, and basically did not believe me. Tang Nguyen, wanting to wake her up, did not hesitate to give up his career to return to being a homemaker for the family. In return, it was only the ambiguity between her and Duong Tianhao, along with an extreme loathing for him. I truly see that it wasn't worth it for him. Oh my god, there is even someone posting online saying that Truong Nuoc Nam last night forced Tang Yuan to donate a kidney to Duong Tianhao's younger brother. Then someone helped Tang Nguyen escape the hospital and was fired by the hospital. This is finished. If I were in that situation, I would also have no motivation left to live. No, Tang Nguyen loves our son very much. He will not die. Truong Nuoc Nam clutched her head, which was aching like a hammer, and fell to the ground. In the final moment before losing consciousness, she tightly grasped the tape recorder and spoke with a choking voice. "Go find the best medicine for me. I want to know all the memories and all the truth. Quickly find Tang Nguyen. Find him for me." This birthday party finally ended with me carrying my son and jumping into the river to commit suicide. Mother Truong, excessively grieved, had her old illness relapse and had to be hospitalized. At the same time, Truong Nuoc Nam, due to a ruptured cerebral blood vessel, was also taken to the emergency room. Duong Tianhao hurriedly ran to keep watch for 3 days and 3 nights. Finally waiting for Truong Nuoc Nam to wake up, he was immediately given a hard slap by her. The woman, with a face of indignation and a hoarse voice, said,